All right, folks, again, welcome back to Three's In. One more airline story, and then I need to get busy. So, this one afternoon, I was on a trip over to Rochester, New York, and it was a nice day. Just where we were at the time, clear, unlimited visibility, and just a pleasant day for flying. So, I'm riding in there and coming through 10,000 feet, we'd been cleared to the airfield. I just decided to kick the autopilot off and do a little bit of hand flying. Just enjoyed doing it. So I'm up there, past about 9,000 feet or so, and I'm just kind of hand flying along, just enjoying the day. No other traffic in the area. And the cockpit door opens, and flight attendant walks up. Now, above 10,000 feet, that was not totally unusual. This is before 9/11, obviously. But below 10,000 feet, where we had a sterile cockpit, that was a little strange. So the flight attendant comes back up and she says, "Sir," she says, "we have two guys in the back that want to kick somebody's ass." Now, how do you respond to that? So I kind of turned in the seat. I'm flying, the airplane's doing fine. I said, "They want to kick somebody's ass, do they?" She says, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, what's that about?" She said, "Well, these two guys were sitting there and they'd been drinking. And the one guy was bumping the seat of the fella in front of him, just being obnoxious. And he turned around and he said, 'Sir, would you mind not kicking the seat?' And the kicker said, 'You want your ass kicked?' Well, not particularly, but anyway, so he just turned around and shut up. The guy in the aisle across leans over and he says, 'Sir, all he asked was for you not to kick his seat.' He says, 'You want your ass kicked?' Okay, fine." Well, later we come to find out these two guys had been having a few pops before they got on the airplane, and then the flight attendant served them a couple more. So usually when you start looking into these stories, this is kind of what you find. But anyway, so I looked at her and I said, "Would you like me to send McGill a gorilla back?" I was flying with a guy about 6'3" or so, maybe 220, 215, somewhere in that area. I said, "Do I need to send McGill back to sort these guys out?" And she said, "No." She says, "I think it'll be okay till we land." And I said, "Okay, here's the deal." And then I had a my cousin Vinny moment. I said, "I want you to go back there and explain to those guys that you came up to the cockpit and to talk to me, and you tell them that I could really use a good ass kicking. I haven't had my ass kicked for 20 years now, and it's time that maybe I had one. So you tell them I'll be happy to present myself for them upon landing to kick my ass, but right now I'm a little busy with the airplane. So ask them if they could have the patience to hold off until we get to the gate." And she looked at me and I said, "Do it, just in those words. Just tell him the captain said he will present himself for his ass kicking after he lands, if you don't mind, if you can wait." So she got up. She wasn't sure what to do, but I'll be darned, she was new enough. She went back and told him that. So anyway, we continue on and land at Rochester, clear the runway, and I looked over at McGilla and I said, "All right, call the gendarmes, call the cops." So he did. He called ground control, said, "We have a couple guys on board that got into the artillery punch a little bit too much, and they've made some threatening gestures. We'd like to have law enforcement meet us at the jet bridge." So by the time I get up to the gate, jet bridge is pulling up, and there's 4 cops there. Oh, I love this. So I get the airplane parked, shut down, and we open the door to hand out buy nows. That's where you stand there. Buy now, buy now. Thanks for flying. Okay, buy now, go away. So anyway, I'm standing there and I got my arms folded like this. I kind of looking at these guys, and most people get off. These guys have been sitting toward the back. So I see these 2 guys kind of careening up against the seats as they're coming forward. They're having trouble walking. But anyway, they get up to the front. And I looked at them and I kind of smiled. And I said, "Are you the 2 guys that want to kick my ass?" And one guy just glared at me. "You smart ass." Anyway, about that time, I looked over at the cop, nodded my head, and those 4 guys came on. They had those 2 guys wrapped up in a heartbeat and hauled them off the airplane. Well, as you might know, we had some weather roll in right after we landed. Some thunderstorms developed and came over, and so our departure was delayed a little bit. And about a half hour later, one of the cops came up to the airplane and walked in, and we gave him a cup of coffee. I said, "How's frickin' Frack doing?" He says, "Oh man," he says, "we got him downstairs in the slammer till they sober up." He said we were there interrogating him, and he says they calmed down pretty quick. But he said one of them asked us, "Say, how long is this interrogation going to take? We have to catch an airplane to Rochester." So that's just some of the characters that I dealt with over a 17 airline career. Anyway, the bottom line is, if the guys are drinking before they get on the airplane, don't continue to fuel the fire, for crying out loud. Anyway, that's it. Hope you have a great day today. See ya.